All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So on our last video, we left off, we were talking about tax liens and we were talking about different investment strategies that you can use under the umbrella of real estate investing. And we left off talking about becoming a private money lender. Now, this is something that I have a few questions about.
Sure.
So,
absolutely.
I wanted to start off today asking somebody like myself.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot about private money lending.
Yes.
One of the things that a fellow investor told me that if they were just getting started in real estate, they would start off by private money lending as opposed to trying to do fix and flips and all that other stuff, which really seasoned investors know more about. So how does, excuse me, a small guy like me get involved in private money lending?
Okay. It is very simple. So a guy like me, I need to borrow money for an opportunity. I'm doing a rehab, buying a property.
Okay.
I need to borrow, we'll just use a round number, $100,000.
Okay.
Okay? Could be less, could be more, could be more.
Okay.
So I present you as the investor an opportunity.
Okay.
All right. Now, I also want to make sure that you're getting into this eyes wide open and that you are protected, right?
Okay.
Because it has to be a win-win.
Right. So how does that? So,
okay, fine.
So how does that work? Yeah. So
let's just say instead of using you're lending me $100,000, let's say I find a property.
Okay.
All right. And this property, I'm going to flip it, and this property needs some work. Okay. So I've determined, because I brought my contractor through, that the property needs, we'll say, $30,000 worth of work.
Okay.
Okay. And but I've also determined that when the property is all done and rehabbed and ready to put on the market, it's worth $150,000. I believe confidently, based on market data, not what I want it to be worth, but what the market tells me it's worth.
Right.
I could sell it every day for $150,000.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm able to negotiate with the seller a purchase price of $60,000 because this place needs some work and he wants out.
Okay.
And as I've said 1,000 times, or either on video or in person when I'm a speaker, I'm not looking necessarily for distressed properties. What am I looking for?
You're looking for those distressed sellers.
That's right. I'm looking for distressed sellers.
Right.
Right? Because someone could have a distressed property, but they're in no rush to sell. I'd rather have someone who is distressed. I'm not trying to give them a nervous breakdown, but they want out.
Right.
Okay, fine. So we negotiate. I'm buying the property, $60,000. I'm going to put $30,000 into it, and we'll say, let's just use round numbers, extra money for this, closing costs, everything. Let's say I'm into it, and I want a loan, $100,000.
Okay.
I want that, which means I'm getting into it. I'm doing this whole thing for no money out of my pocket.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And I go to you, and we'll sit. Now, the first thing I'm going to try to do is if this seller has no mortgage, try to arrange for seller financing. But for whatever reason, this guy needs the money to pay off. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's not a possibility. I got to go, and I can go to a bank. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to go to a hard money lender. They're too darn expensive.
Okay.
So I call, and I did this the other day. What I'm talking to right now, I did the other day.
Okay.
Okay. So I called up one of my friends who said, Rick, if you ever have a possibility, I would like, do some private lending. Okay. Well, the possibility came up. I got on the phone. And I called my friend, but we'll say, and you are my friend, but we'll say you're him. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, John, I got an opportunity for you.
Yeah, right.
I never ask anyone to lend me money. It has a bad connotation. If you lend, you could lose. I asked if they would like to invest in one of my projects. People like to invest, don't they?
They do.
Because it has a connotation of what? Making money.
Making money. And you're a part of something.
That's right. And I'm offering them. People say, well, I'm afraid to ask money. I'm doing you a favor.
Right.
I'm giving you an opportunity.
Right.
If I were a stockbroker offering you a tip on a great stock, would I be embarrassed about it? Of course not.
No.
Okay. John, here's the deal. I'm buying this property. Here's the address. You want to go drive by? Go ahead. And I already hear. So I have a folder. This guy came in the office. I had it ready for him. Here's the comps.
Okay.
It's worth this amount of money. All right. Here is my estimate from my general contractor. Here's what it needs. All right. I'm doing this with you.
Right. So I'm seeing all the numbers.
Seeing everything in front of me. I'm not hiding anything from you. Right.
Right.
See, there's really what it's worth. That's it, John. Because the house right down the street sold for whatever. Okay. Okay. John, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking for someone to invest $100 grand. Now, if you do that, and I'll pay you, what are you getting in that CD now?
I think well, you know, I got a small bank, so I'm getting like 2.25%.
All right. So what if I offered you like about 3 times that amount and paid you 6? Would that be okay?
That would be okay with me. I mean, it's already just sitting there anyway.
Right. So instead of getting 2%, you get 6%. Okay.
Sounds much better.
And it would be a secure loan because it's collateralized by the property.
Okay.
You're in a first lien position.
Okay.
So if I sell the property, you're going to get paid. You got to get paid first.
I like the way that sounds.
Okay. And look at this. If you're lending me $100,000 on a $150,000 property, the LTV or the loan to value ratio is about 66%. So what does that mean to you? That means, let's just say, worst case scenario in the world, I don't pay you.
Right.
You could foreclose on me. You have plenty of equity there. You got $50,000 equity, and I've rehabbed the house, right? You could sell it, keep the money that I've paid you, and then make the $50,000, or keep it as a rental. So actually, although it would be the worst case for me, really wouldn't be too bad for you.
Right.
But I'm not going to let that happen.
Right. See, so the worst case for me would be that you paid me back. Right.
Well, none of us are getting into this with the hope that happens, that we foreclose.
Right.
But what's my message to you? You're getting a monthly check. 6% interest only on $100 grand is $500 a month. You're getting a check for $500 a month for as long as we negotiate it.
I like that.
Okay.
All right.
And it's secured by the property. You're in the first lien position. And you have if I went to a hard money lender, they would want about a 65% loan to value ratio for the same reason. They want to be protected, and that's what I'm offering you. So you're not over leveraged in this property. So that's private money. I've done it many times. My investors are very happy. If I have another investor who say, well, gee, it sounds good. I say, look, if you want a little testimonial, I can give you the name of several people who I have loans with now, and here's their phone number. Call them up. Ask them if I pay them every month. What are they going to tell him? Of course he does pay me every month. It's a pleasure doing business with him. I get my check like clockwork every month. Why? Because I set it up in my account that way.
Right.
I don't have to write a check. The bank writes it for me.
Right. And that's, and that sounds really great because, somebody like myself doesn't have the time, or maybe I don't have the knowledge, but I do, want to get involved in
it's perfect for people who, they make good money, doctors, lawyers, accountants, or whatever, and they don't have the time, the inclination. They're working 60, 70 hours a week, but they like to get involved, and they have money sitting collecting dust. And the stock market goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes. This is guaranteed money.
When it comes to the stock market, and this is just your opinion, why do you think that why do you think so many people invest? Why does it seem so easy to invest in the stock market, but it seems like getting into real estate is more difficult? Essentially, when you're doing the same thing, almost, right? You're putting your money to work, but you might be doing
in the stock market. You don't have any effort. Right, you invest in the stock, and you keep an eye on the stock, and you see if it goes up and goes down, and you probably have a stockbroker who advises you, and it's hopefully over the long term, over the long term in the stock market, if you invest correctly, you will do well.
Right.
Right. It's passive income, absolutely passive income. With real estate, there's more of a risk involved, and you know what? People shy away from things they don't understand.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So I could offer you this deal, which is a pretty good deal, right? Is there an element of risk? You got out of the bed this morning. You got in your car to drive here. Was there an element of risk?
Absolutely.
There was an element of risk.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
fine. All right, you could walk under a tree and a big rock falls down and hit you on the head.
Right.
There's always an element of risk.
Right.
If you don't want risk, don't do anything. But then your risk is not doing anything.
Right. Yeah.
Going nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So in this hypothetical, what is your ratio or your percentage of risk? It's pretty low. Pretty low.
Right. Well, you're also protected too, right?
You are
Because it's
protected.
like you said, if you just took off, the loan is still collateralized by that asset. Whereas if I have stock in, let's just say, like Facebook or something, and they just go belly up, which is probably not going to happen, but it could.
Good.
Right? Then what's there to protect?
Right.
To protect me.
Well, one of the questions you might ask me, well, Rick, what if the house burns down?
That's a good one. What if the house burns down?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
We'll have home insurance, and you're named as the first loss payee. That means the house burns down, you get paid first.
Right. You can't put insurance on stock, can you?
I don't know. I'm not a stock guy. I got to be honest with you. I don't understand stocks. Sometimes I sit down on morning coffee and I watch financial networks. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I know about real estate.
Yeah.
I've been doing it a long time.
I think it's important for you should have more people like you getting in contact with other people because, and it's good that you're making these videos because it's really true. I think most people, who invest in stocks also don't understand stocks, but it's like you said, it takes very minimum effort and it's just kind of like,
A couple of years ago, I bought a property in Trenton with owner financing. And the owner was a machinist for, 30, 40 years. He's retired. Wanted to move to Florida. And I said, what's a machinist? And he explained to me what he did. And he obviously knew his business, right? So it was a detailed explanation of what he did. I had never heard of it. Okay. I took his word for it.
Right. Right, yeah.
So then I was talking to him about, because there was no mortgage on the property, the possibility of seller financing. What did he say to me? I've never heard of it.
Right, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, Steve, what was his name? I've never heard of machinist. That doesn't mean it wasn't legitimate.
Right. That's a good point, right?
Okay, so I did buy the property with seller financing.
Okay.
And I just paid him off to, I refinanced the property and paid him off.
Okay.
Okay, but it was fine for 2 years.
All right. So that makes sense. Yeah, just because you never heard of it
doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right.
And it doesn't mean it's not absolutely legitimate.
Right. Or that it doesn't work.
Right. It just means that you haven't heard of it. Well, you need to expand your horizons a little bit, don't you?
Yep. We all need a little education.
Right. Okay.
So another question is I've been on these investment sites and I've been learning, I've been hearing this word syndication kind of tossed around. It's like kind of like a group investing or team investing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's also falls into the private money category. But what's the difference between, me working with you or me joining this syndication?
Okay. When you're syndicating this, so let's say you're buying or someone is buying an apartment building.
Okay.
A couple of $1 million.
Okay.
Okay. Chances of, now there's always a possibility that you could have one private lender who has all the money necessary for it.
Okay.
Okay. But not great chances.
Okay.
But what if you put a pool of investors together and they syndicated their money? And let's say you had a minimum investment of $50,000. So some people put in $50,000, some people put in $100,000. This guy puts in $200,000. So could be a minimum and a maximum.
Okay.
So then you are a limited partner. What that means is, let's say I own the building with a few other guys. We're general partners. We make the decisions. We're running the ship. Okay.
Okay.
You're not.
Okay.
But so you're limited. Your liability is limited only to the amount of money that you have invested.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And you might have some ownership interest, again, based on a percentage, based on what you have invested. But to answer your question is, you and other people are putting your money together in a pool so that I and some other partners can buy the building.
Okay.
All right. Now, there are SEC rules that have to be complied with.
Okay.
I am not an SEC attorney.
Okay.
I do not give legal advice.
Okay.
But if you're interested in that, you could look it up on Google. You could speak to an attorney with experience doing that.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And get more information. But that's the difference between private lending and syndication. And I will take owner financing or private lending every single day of the week as opposed to going to an institutional lender. Okay. Why is that, Rick? Well, I'm glad you asked. If I go to an institutional lender, it's their way or the highway. I have finance. The paperwork is overwhelming.
Okay.
They want to know what my baby boy, who's 38 now, had for dinner when he was 2. They want everything. I could paper my walls in my office with all the paperwork they want.
Wow.
And then there's all these fees that they want. Come at $1,000.
Right.
Okay. So last week I needed $45,000.
Okay.
I made a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I called my friend, and of course I knew he was looking to invest. I said, "Here's the opportunity. I need $45,000. Would you like to invest $45,000? And here's the terms." And he said, "Okay." So he's writing a check for $45,000. I have no other fees involved. Zero. No paperwork. Well, I mean, for the note and the mortgage. But I don't have to give him my tax returns, my pay stubs, my kid's birth certificate, none of that stuff. It's just so much easier.
Right.
And then this note, because it's on a flip, is a 1-year note. It's at 8%. A little high, but for a 1-year note, it's okay. And it's a small amount of money.
Yeah.
And so let's say at the end of 1 year, I may, if he wants the money, I got to pay him off. But maybe we'll want to keep the money there, or my substitution of collateral clause, I can move the note from here to there on another property and do the same thing.
Right.
You can't do that with banks, right?
Right. No.
It's their rules, so don't do it.
Okay, so that's good for somebody like me. So the syndications may be a little bit more of the 202, 2.0 real estate investing.
It's not for the beginning guy. I have money involved in some syndications. I get a quarterly check, and I have some ownership in the entire project. Okay. But it's the term is I just have time, and that's fine. Okay. So I've varied my investment opportunities a little bit, right? So it's not just flips and wholesale deals, but so I have some money in the syndicated. That's fine.
All right. So good. So then, a good thing for a guy like me. I'm just getting started. I want to get involved in real estate. Not super savvy. Don't have the time, but I do have a couple of coins that I could put to work. My best bet is to are you saying to just go out to these RIA meetings to find somebody like you
I think that would be an excellent idea.
that's what I want to do. I'm a guy who wants to get in, but I don't want to get too dirty. I'm not too handy with my hands or whatever, or even if I am, it's just you really want to work with somebody who knows what they're doing, right?
Someone that knows what they're doing and someone you trust. Right.
Because it is a lot of relationship, right? Because you're not giving me your returns and what your baby boy had at 2 years old, right? Right. It's all like the banks, right?
Right. You could certainly ask me, do you have any reserves? In case something happens.
So I can check you out.
You can check me out. You can ask for a credit report.
Oh, okay.
You should ask for a credit report.
Okay, so I should then. If
you want to pretend you know me, right? We're a long time. Right. But let's say you didn't know me. Yeah. It's certainly reasonable to ask. I want to see a credit report. Okay. Do you have you done this with anybody else? Can I call them? Right. You have absolute right to do it. Right. Your money.
Right. And you want to protect your investment,
right? That's absolutely. You want to protect your investment.
All right. Well, thank you. So for all those out there just getting started, if you're not too sure on what you should do, you want to look for a guy like Rick, or they could probably reach out to you and ask some more questions if they're interested in this and how they reach you.
Good question. They can find me on YouTube at RLS Properties. Lots of videos that you've done for me. They can call me. 609-213-7250, or they can send me an email. I'm switching my email over, but for now, It's Rick at RLS, Richard Leslie Stein, RLS Home Solutions.com. And when I have the new email, which would be RLS Properties, I'll have a forwarding. So anyway, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. And I wish you best of luck in your real estate investment endeavors.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay.